Well, the LA Dodgers rocked the Colorado Rockies yesterday, 15-6. And one of the moves that Dave Roberts made before the game was changing his lineup up a little bit and moving Mookie Betts from number 2 in the lineup to number 4 in the lineup. And Mookie Betts decided to look like a cleanup hitter. He hit 2 home runs, drove in 5 runs. Now, they also got home runs from Kike Hernandez, who's back now active on the roster. Also, Andy Pages going deep and Will Smith. And so they just pummeled the Rockies. But for Mookie Betts to hit 2 home runs, and he was fired up about it too, running around the bases. It was good to see. Good to see Kike Hernandez too back in there doing his thing. But everybody seemingly producing in that Dodgers lineup yesterday. As you know, Pages was 4 for 5 with 3 runs driven in. Betts was 3 for 5 with 5 runs driven in. Will Smith 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored and 2 runs driven in. I mean, the lineup from top to bottom, Franny, was just absolutely dominating.
It was. I mean, what is this, like the 12th game, a multi-RBI game for Andy Pages so far? It might be more than that. Might be even 14, actually. I was just counting it with the 6 RBI high against the Houston Astros. I think that's like the one that, you know, we're going to talk about Mookie. He's got 6 homers now. First one since they played in Anaheim. But you look at this and you're going, I think it's more about Pages. Leads all of baseball in RBI now with 49. I mean, he has been absolutely tearing the cover off the ball consistently from day one, right? So this season, a whole lot different. And you get pumped up for a guy that had such a huge struggle, you know, in the postseason last year, just trying to find a knock. And to go in the offseason work and you see all the fruits of his labor, you know, coming to fruition right now. And right now I look at this and I'm going, this Dodger team is as good as they are because Andy Pages right now. And you easily be made that a Pages and for me, a James Wood, you know, MVP race right now. I wouldn't be arguing on that one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Pages right now, they moved up to 2nd in the lineup. That's what moved Betts to 4th in the lineup. So Ohtani, Pages, Freeman, Betts is where they went with the lineup there. And then Tucker after that, then Teoscar Hernandez, then Will Smith. Will Smith batting 7th in the lineup for the Dodgers. I mean, this guy batted 4th most of the year last year for them. Then Miguel Rojas playing at second base. He had 2 hits. And then Kike Hernandez playing at third base. He was 2 for 2. With 2 runs scored and RBI. And so a lot of guys getting at bats. Now, the one guy that we didn't mention a lot of, they've got 10 games this year with 10 or more runs scored this season. That's a lot for sure. But we didn't mention Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani had a couple of at-bats, but he ended up getting hit by a pitch in the back of his hand, his right hand, and ended up leaving the game. Now, remember, he was scheduled to pitch today. Overall, and it was only an 85-mile-per-hour changeup that hit him, and so and he does wear a bit of a hand guard, but they took him out at that point, and now they have to decide whether they'll let him hit and pitch in the game tonight or only pitch. But it was his pitching hand, his right hand, where he got hit. But it seems like with the padding on the back of that hand, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. It's sort of toward the pinky and the back of his hand a little bit. Sounds like he's going to be okay to throw the ball.
I hope so. I mean, look, again, it wasn't really that hard of a pitch, but hands, they can break very easy on certain parts. He's fine on that. But, yeah, look, they got all the time that they need with him, whatever they need. You know, they got the guys that cover it. The bullpen's been fantastic. Eric Lauer, their pickup from Toronto, who let him go, got the win. He's now 2-5. But then the bullpen picked up until, well, I think their bullpen numbers get ruined yesterday. I don't know if you realize that with Miguel Rojas coming into the game, giving up 5 in 1 inning, 8 hits, just ruined the bullpen numbers of giving up 1 run in their last 38 innings. I mean, I don't know how they're going to be able to live with themselves.
Yeah, because they had that long streak going. So that ended the other day. Their bullpen had been shutting everybody down. And then as we mentioned earlier, Nick Kurtz, his on-base streak came to an end yesterday as well. Nick Kurtz at 48 games. And listen, he'll probably get right back in starting a new streak tonight, the way he has approached and performed so far offensively. But would you let Ohtani hit tonight in the game? If you're Dave Roberts, after him getting hit with that pitch, would you let him hit and pitch today?
Only if, like, today is one of those days where Shohei tells you what it is. I feel like that's the determining factor. Like, you've given him his time, like you've taken him out of those games. Right,
Don't
but just listen to him. I feel I would let him be. I let him pitch today. Just give an extra day. Just because you won the first 2 games of the series, you're going, okay, this one's I'm not saying in hand, but I mean, like, you're playing with house money on it.
So am I the only one who gets worked up about guys dictating when they play and when they don't play? I mean, so I give you an example. So when I was Mets general manager, the Yankees had Roger Clemens, they had Randy Johnson, and what they would do is if they play Sunday and they get an off day Monday, they would let them fly home and then rejoin to meet the team and not travel with the team to the next location. And I'm like, why? Like, I wouldn't do that. I mean, everybody on the team has a responsibility to everybody else on the team to be with the team and travel with the team. And so I always had issues with letting guys leave on a Sunday and not be there for a game and then show up on a Tuesday. And because they weren't going to pitch, it's okay. It's not that big a deal, but I think it's part of building your team. But yet it never hampered the Yankees from winning when they had those guys. And so I keep thinking to myself, where am I wrong about this? Because I think that structure matters, consistency matters, rules matter, and the rules need to be the same. Rules need to be the same for everybody, but the consequences can be different based upon status of who you are. But I don't think that stuff, nobody seems to follow that anymore.
Well, I think the other part that it is the truth on this is you got guys that you should trust in general. Like, you should have had these conversations just for a long time. And I think you pass it along with one another. And, Dave Roberts knowing Shohei now for the 3 or 2+ years, you gain trust. And I feel like he's going to tell you, and when he needs a break, and sometimes you're going to have to pull back on him just for the sake of, well, it's Shohei, we got to take this away from him. But like, Shohei's never proven that he's trying to, do something that he's not capable of, right? He's a unicorn. And so certain instances, I think you allow that to happen for the success of the team. You worry when it's never about the team for a guy, right? Like, if it's never about that in that guy's DNA, like, you just watch him and it's a very individualized like program that he's got going. That's a different deal. But like, when he's about the team and he goes out and performs, it's not like he's taking a day off from playing. Like, he's literally pitching. So we can't say that he's not playing and flying home. Like, that's just right. I don't know.
No, it's a different situation, but it is, like, who's in charge, I guess, is the thing. And so I'll give you another example is, I always believed in the structure matters and that the rules need to be the same for everybody. And so, we had at one point, when I was with the Mets, we had somebody running the minor leagues, and one of the AA manager wanted to go to the College World Series because his son was playing in the College World Series. And he let him go. And I said, all right, so let me ask you a question. When the next guy comes to you and says, my daughter has a dance recital, I really want to be there, how can you say no to him? And then the next guy asked, and so where does the line get drawn? And so, and every decision you make affects the next decision you make. And if you let somebody bend the rule, then you got to let the next guy bend the rule. And if you don't, then you're creating this energy that tears apart the fabric of your team. And you could say, well, one was baseball, the other was a dance recital. Well, that doesn't seem like it's a fair comparison. That for me, if it's important to one guy for his family, it should be important for another guy for his family too. So I don't know. It was one for me that I always had a hard time, that I believed in the structure, the organizational chart, chain of command. I think all of that is so important. And when you violate that, I think it starts to tear apart the fabric of your team. And when you are consistent to it, then the people can change, but the structure, everybody fits into the structure instead of the structure having to fit into the people. But I may be a little inflexible. I mean, that's probably
you are
true.
But, you are. That's all right.
And yet I don't give special dispensation to the stars more than the others. And yet maybe I should have. And so we'll see. All right, coming up, the morning matchup next here in the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio.